Dr. Victoria Rhodes stood at her observatory window, staring at the star-filled sky above the Atacama Desert. The Drace place on Earth had always been her sanctuary, but tonight something felt different. The quantum array she'd designed had picked up an impossible signal, one that shouldn't exist. "Running analysis again, Doctor," called out Lieutenant Ramirez from his station. The young officer's fingers flew across the holographic interface, his face illuminated by the soft blue glow of the displays. Signal pattern remains consistent. It's definitely not natural, and it's not matching any known human or theoretical alien frequencies. Victoria pulled her silver-streaked hair back into a tight bun, her dark eyes never leaving the main display. The signal's pattern pulsed with an eerily familiar rhythm, like a heartbeat from the depths of space. After 20 years of searching the stars for signs of intelligent life, she'd finally found something, but it wasn't what anyone had expected. "Get me Commander Sullivan," she ordered, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. "He needs to see this." Within hours, Commander James Sullivan's shuttle touched down at the observatory's landing pad. The head of Earth's Defense Intelligence strode into the control room, his weathered face bearing the stern expression that had earned him the nickname Stone-Face Sullivan among his subordinates. "This better be good, Rhodes," he growled, though Victoria caught the glint of curiosity in his eyes. Their history went back decades, to the early days of humanity's first attempts at interstellar communication. Victoria pulled up the signal analysis on the main screen. "Look at this pattern, James. It's using quantum entanglement principles we theorized, but never managed to implement. But here's the thing, it's based on human mathematical principles." Sullivan's expression darkened. "That's impossible. We never established colonies that far out." "Exactly." Victoria highlighted a sequence in the data stream. "This signal is coming from a star system 300 light-years away, from a region of space that's supposedly uninhabited. But the math, the encoding, it's human. And there's more." She pulled up another screen, showing a decoded portion of the message. The text was fragmented, but clear enough to send chills down their spines. "Help? Forgotten. They erased. Colony. Survivors." Sullivan leaned forward, his knuckles white as he gripped the console. "How long has this been transmitting?" "That's the strangest part," Victoria replied, pulling up a temporal analysis. "Based on the signal degradation, it's been repeating for at least 50 years. But our quantum arrays only just detected it now. It's as if—" She paused, struggling to find the right words. "As if something was preventing us from receiving it until now." The commander's jaw tightened. Or someone. A warning klaxon suddenly blared through the observatory. Lieutenant Ramirez's hands flew across his console. "Doctor, Commander, we're picking up an object entering the solar system at impossible speeds. It's on an intercept course with Earth." Victoria's blood ran cold as she watched the object's trajectory resolve on the main screen. It was massive, at least a kilometer in length, and it was definitely not natural. Its surface seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, making it almost invisible to conventional sensors. "James," Victoria whispered, "I don't think we were supposed to find this signal. And I don't think we're alone anymore." Sullivan was already on his secure communicator, barking orders to Earth's defense forces. But Victoria couldn't tear her eyes away from the signal analysis. Hidden in the background noise, almost too faint to detect, was another message, one that made her heart stop. "Beware the architects. They hide the truth. Humanity was never meant to be forgotten." As alarms blared across the facility, Victoria knew they had stumbled upon something far bigger than first contact. They had discovered the first thread of a conspiracy that spanned centuries, one that had deliberately erased humanity from the galactic stage. The question was, why? In the coming hours, as Earth's military mobilized and a mysterious object drew closer, Victoria and Sullivan would begin to unravel a truth that would shake the foundations of human history. But for now, all they could do was watch and wait, knowing that their discovery had set in motion events that could never be undone. The signal continued to pulse its lonely message across the light years, a beacon of hope and warning from a forgotten branch of humanity, and perhaps their only chance to understand why they had been systematically erased from galactic memory. When the massive vessel finally entered Earth's orbit, it didn't come with explosions or ultimatums. Instead, it brought silence, a silence that screamed louder than any weapon. First Lieutenant Diane Porter stood at her station in Earth's orbital defense platform, tracking the alien ship's every movement. Commander Sullivan, the vessel's holding position at 100,000 kilometers. No weapons signatures detected, but, "Sir, it's doing something to our satellites." Sullivan watched from the platform's command center as, one by one, Earth's communication satellites began to flicker with strange patterns. Dr. Rhodes, who had been evacuated to the orbital platform along with key scientific personnel, studied the data streaming across her terminal. "It's not attacking them," she announced, her voice filled with wonder. "It's upgrading them. The quantum signatures match the signal we received. They're trying to show us something." Suddenly, every screen in the command center flickered to life with the same image. A star map, but unlike any they had ever seen. Thousands of points of light burned bright, connected by lines of energy or information, but Earth was conspicuously absent from this galactic network. "These are trade routes," Victoria breathed. "Communication channels. A whole galactic civilization that we were never part of." A new voice filled the command center, not through speakers, but directly in their minds. It spoke in perfect English, though with an otherworldly resonance that made it clear this was not a human transmission. "We are the Guardians," the voice announced. "We have watched. We have waited. And now we must warn." Sullivan stepped forward, his military bearing unchanged despite the extraordinary circumstances. "Warn us about what?" "The architects," the voice replied. "Those who shaped galactic civilization, and those who decided humanity was too dangerous to be allowed participation." Victoria's hands flew across her console as she correlated data. "The signal we received, it was from a human colony that escaped the purge, wasn't it?" "Yes." The voice carried a note of approval. "They were not the only ones. When the architects began their systematic erasure of human civilization 500 years ago, some of us disagreed. We helped establish hidden colonies, preserved your knowledge, protected your descendants. But we could not prevent your isolation on Earth, nor the removal of all evidence of your species' earlier achievements." Lieutenant Porter's console suddenly lit up with warnings. "Multiple quantum signatures detected. Something's happening to our historical databases." Victoria rushed to a nearby terminal, her eyes widening as she watched humanity's history literally rewrite itself before her eyes. "They didn't just erase us from their records," she whispered. "They erased our own history. The dark ages, the gaps in our technological development, those weren't natural setbacks. They were engineered," Sullivan finished, his face grim. "Our entire species was quarantined, our progress deliberately stunted." The Guardian's voice returned, more urgent now. "Yes, but the architect's control is weakening. The hidden colonies have grown strong. They have developed technologies that even the architects fear. And now they seek to reconnect with their homeworld." Why now? Sullivan demanded. Why tell us this after 5 centuries? Because the architects have discovered the colonies, the voice replied. They plan to end their experiment permanently. Earth and all her children are to be eliminated. We Guardians can no longer stand idle. Victoria's mind raced as she processed the implications. The signal we received, it wasn't just a message, was it? It was a key, designed to wake us up at exactly this moment. Correct, Dr. Rhodes. Your quantum array was not of your own design alone. We have been guiding your development, preparing you for this moment. The colonies need Earth. Earth needs the colonies. And all of humanity needs to unite before the architects arrive. Sullivan's tactical mind was already at work. How long do we have? 3 months, the Guardian replied. Time enough to prepare if you act now. We will share what we can, technologies, coordinates of the hidden colonies, tactical information about the architects. But be warned, once you accept this knowledge, there is no turning back. The architects will know, and they will come. Victoria and Sullivan exchanged looks. 5 centuries of lost history, hidden colonies, and a galactic civilization that had conspired to keep humanity in the dark. The truth was overwhelming, but the choice was clear. We accept, Sullivan declared, speaking for all of humanity in that moment. It's time we reclaimed our place in the galaxy. The Guardian's presence seemed to approve. Then let us begin. First, you must understand who the architects truly are, and why they feared humanity so much that they chose to erase you from history. As the alien vessel began transmitting data to Earth's newly enhanced satellites, Victoria couldn't help but feel a mixture of excitement and dread. They were about to learn their true history, and why an advanced civilization had gone to such lengths to make humanity forget its own past. The real question was, would this knowledge help them survive what was coming? The Room of Revelations, as it had quickly been dubbed, hummed with advanced holographic technology gifted by the Guardians. Dr. Victoria Rhodes stood before Earth's assembled military and scientific leadership, her heart pounding as she prepared to share what they'd learned about humanity's true history. What I'm about to show you will fundamentally change our understanding of human civilization, she began, activating the holographic display. The room filled with images of impossible cities, crystal spires reaching into alien skies, vessels that dwarfed modern spacecraft, and technologies that seemed more like magic than science. This was us, she said firmly. 500 years ago, humanity had already spread across 50 star systems. We had developed technologies based on consciousness manipulation, quantum engineering, and gravitational control. We weren't just part of the galactic community. We were revolutionizing it. Commander Sullivan stepped forward, his face illuminated by the shifting images. The architects saw our rapid advancement as a threat. But it wasn't just our technology they feared. He nodded to Victoria, who brought up a new set of images. The hologram showed humans working alongside various alien species, but with a crucial difference. The humans were teaching, leading, innovating. Our greatest strength, Victoria continued, was our adaptability. While other species specialized over millions of years, humans could master multiple disciplines within a single lifetime. We were unpredictable, creative, dangerous. Admiral Reza Patel, head of the United Earth Fleet, leaned forward. And that's why they tried to erase us. Because we learned too quickly. Not exactly. A new voice echoed through the room. The Guardian's consciousness touched their minds gently. Show them the Nexus Project. Victoria's hands trembled slightly as she brought up the final set of images. They showed a massive structure being built in space, like a web of interconnected spheres. This was humanity's crowning achievement, or would have been. The Nexus was designed to be a bridge between consciousness and reality, allowing direct manipulation of the physical universe through thought alone. Gasps and murmurs filled the room. The Guardian's voice continued. The architects had spent billions of years establishing order in the galaxy. They believed that reality itself needed to be protected from chaos. When they discovered humanity's potential to reshape reality through pure consciousness, they saw not innovation, but extinction-level danger. So they struck first, Sullivan added grimly. They didn't just destroy our colonies. They rewrote our history, suppressed our technological development, and quarantined Earth. Anyone who tried to help humanity was silenced. Not everyone, the Guardian corrected. Some of us recognized that humanity's chaos was also its greatest gift. We helped establish hidden colonies, preserved your knowledge. And now, Victoria activated a real-time sensor display showing the coordinates received from the Guardian's ship. Dozens of points of light flared to life, hidden human colonies, each one a beacon of preserved knowledge and advanced technology. These colonies didn't just survive, she explained, her voice growing stronger. They thrived. Each one specialized in different aspects of our lost technology. And they'd been waiting, preparing for the day Earth would wake up. Admiral Patel studied the tactical display with growing excitement. How advanced are these colonies compared to Earth? The answer came from both Victoria and the Guardian simultaneously, centuries ahead. But we don't have centuries, Sullivan reminded them. The architects will arrive in less than 3 months, even with the colony's help. That's where you're wrong, Commander, Victoria interrupted, her eyes shining with newfound determination. She brought up one final image, a detailed scan of her own brain activity. The Guardians didn't just give us historical data. They activated something within us, something the architects tried to suppress. The neural scan pulsed with unusual energy patterns, unlike anything they'd ever seen in a human brain. Similar scans from other humans in the room showed the same activity. The colonies didn't just preserve our technology, Victoria explained. They preserved our potential, and now, with the Guardian's help, we can reawaken it. Every human on Earth carries the genetic memory of what we once were, and what we could be again. The Guardian's presence hummed with approval. The architect's greatest fear was that humanity would one day reawaken its true potential. That fear has driven them to take desperate action. But in doing so, they have only guaranteed what they sought to prevent. Admiral Patel stood, his decision made. How long to establish contact with the colonies? The quantum network is already being restored, Victoria replied. Within days, we'll have full communication. Within weeks, we'll begin receiving their technology and knowledge. And our hidden abilities? Sullivan asked, looking at his own neural scan with a mixture of wonder and apprehension. Victoria smiled, raising her hand. A small sphere of pure energy formed above her palm, drawing astonished gasps from the assembled leaders. That process has already begun. As the room erupted in excited discussion, Victoria shared a knowing look with Sullivan. The next few weeks would change everything. Humanity wouldn't just be fighting for survival, they would be reclaiming their destiny. The architects had tried to make humanity forget its true nature. Instead, they had only ensured that when humanity finally remembered, their awakening would be more powerful than ever before. 2 months into humanity's reawakening, the orbital shipyards of Earth buzzed with unprecedented activity. Ships from the hidden colonies arrived daily, each bringing technologies that seemed to defy the laws of physics themselves. But more impressive than the ships were the changes in humanity itself. Director Kira Patel, Admiral Patel's daughter and head of the newly formed Nexus Integration Program, demonstrated these changes as she led a training session in the zero-gravity chamber. Her thoughts rippled through reality, creating geometric patterns of pure energy. Every human has the potential, she explained to the gathered recruits, her voice calm despite the spectacular display of power. The architects didn't just fear our technology, they feared this: our ability to reshape reality through pure consciousness. A proximity alarm shattered the moment. Commander Sullivan's voice echoed through the facility. "They're here." First wave of architect vessels detected at the edge of the solar system. Victoria Rhodes, now bearing the title of Earth Defense Chief Scientist, rushed to the command center. The tactical display showed 3 massive vessels, each shaped like crystalline fractals that seemed to fold through dimensions humans were only beginning to understand. Earlier than we expected, Sullivan noted grimly, "Ready the quantum defense grid." Victoria nodded, her consciousness already interfacing with the new defense systems. Around Earth, millions of quantum nodes activated, creating an energy web visible from space. Similar networks activated around the hidden colonies, all interconnected through the partially restored nexus. The first battle for humanity's future was about to begin. The architect ships approached with cold precision, their weapons capable of unmaking matter itself. But as they entered the inner solar system, they faced something unexpected: humans who remembered who they were. Earth's combined fleet, augmented by colonial ships and crewed by awakened humans, moved to intercept. The space between planets became a canvas of impossible physics and consciousness-driven warfare. Humanity's ships danced through dimensional folds, their crews reshaping local reality to counter the architects' attacks. The battle raged for hours, neither side able to gain a decisive advantage. But with each passing moment, more humans awakened to their true potential, the collective consciousness of the species growing stronger. Then, in a moment that would be remembered for generations, something extraordinary happened. The quantum defense grid, powered by millions of awakened minds, began to resonate with a frequency that made the architect's ships shudder. "It's working," Victoria called out, her mind linked with thousands of others through the restored nexus pathways. Their dimensional anchors are failing. The architect vessels, for the first time in their ancient history, retreated. But victory came with a dark revelation. As the enemy ships fled, they broadcast a message that chilled every human who heard it. The Purge Protocol has been initiated. The experiment ends. Victoria's face paled as she decoded the transmission's implications. "They're not just sending ships," she whispered. "They're going to try to erase this entire sector of space from existence." The true scale of the coming war became clear. The architects weren't just fighting to suppress humanity. They were preparing to unmake reality itself, to ensure humanity's potential remained forever unfulfilled. In the month following the first battle, humanity raced against time. The hidden colonies fully integrated with Earth's defenses, sharing centuries of accumulated knowledge. The Nexus Project, once the source of the architect's fear, now became humanity's greatest hope. Dr. Victoria Rhodes stood in the heart of the newly constructed Nexus Hub, a massive space station at Earth's L1 point. Around her, millions of quantum threads connected the consciousness of every awakened human in the solar system. The architects tried to make us forget. She addressed the unified consciousness of humanity. But in doing so, they taught us our greatest lesson: what we are capable of when we stand together. The hub's sensors detected the approaching apocalypse, a wave of unreality, powered by the combined might of the architect civilization. It would not just destroy humanity, it would erase them from existence itself. Commander Sullivan, his consciousness now fully awakened, joined the neural link. All colonies reporting ready. The Nexus is at full power. Through their shared consciousness, humanity could feel the approaching doom. But they could also feel something else. The accumulated knowledge and power of thousands of years of human potential finally unleashed. Director Kira Patel, leading the consciousness integration, spoke through the link. They tried to break us apart, to make us forget who we are. But humanity's greatest strength was never in our technology or even our powers. She paused, her consciousness brightening. It was in our ability to unite, to face impossible odds together. The wave of unreality approached, a wall of cosmic deletion that made the very stars flicker. But humanity was ready. Through the Nexus, billions of human minds united in a single purpose. The quantum defense grid, powered by consciousness itself, began to pulse with new energy. Reality itself seemed to hold its breath. When the wave hit, it met something the architects had never anticipated. A species that had not just remembered its power, but had transcended it. The united consciousness of humanity didn't just resist the wave, it reshaped it. Victoria, her mind linked with every human in the system, understood at last. The architects feared chaos because they didn't understand its purpose, she shared through the link. Chaos isn't destruction, it's creation, it's evolution, it's life itself. In that moment of understanding, humanity did more than survive. Through the Nexus, they turned the architect's weapon back on itself. The wave of unreality became a wave of transformation, rippling through the galaxy. Reality shifted, but not in the way the architects had planned. Instead of erasing humanity, the wave restored what had been taken. Across the galaxy, the truth of human history reasserted itself. The barriers between colonies fell. The suppressed potential within every human being awakened. The architect's great experiment didn't end, it transcended. In the aftermath, as the galaxy adjusted to this new reality, Victoria stood with Sullivan and Kira in the Nexus hub, watching the stars shine brighter than ever before. What happens now? Sullivan asked, his consciousness still linked with the collective. Victoria smiled, feeling the unlimited potential of a fully awakened humanity coursing through the Nexus. Now we do what humans have always done best, she replied. We create, we explore, we evolve. The Great Betrayal had failed. In trying to suppress humanity's chaos, the architects had only ensured that when humanity finally remembered its true nature, they would become something greater than anyone, even the architects, could have imagined. As the unified consciousness of humanity reached out to touch the stars, one truth became clear. The future would no longer be written by those who feared chaos, but by those who understood its true purpose, to forever push the boundaries of what was possible. The betrayal was over. Humanity's true story was just beginning.